Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more details videos. Coco Gauff gets rare praise as Venus Williams reflects on what she and Serena started. Venus Williams, a prominent figure in both the tennis and fashion world, has often discussed the intersection of the two, emphasizing the importance of feeling confident and comfortable in one's attire while playing. She, along with her sister, Serena Williams, is literally the trailblazer of tennis fashion, and they see fashion as an integral part of their tennis performance, noting that what they wear impacts how they move and feel on the court. Talking about tennis fashion, Serena once said, "In many ways, for me, the tennis courts became my runway, and the US Open was my own New York Fashion Week." Just a couple of months ago, Venus Williams gave a candid interview with renowned fashion personality Ben Johnson. During that interview, she discussed how the most fashionable moments often occur in tennis. Can you think of any other sport that has more fashion, more iconic moments? Like when you think about classic sport, it goes always back to tennis. "We got to keep it fashionable in tennis," said Williams. She added that they must now let the next generation know that they did a good job with this. What does she have to say about how the tennis fashion has gone in the last few years, though? Well, in a recent interview with Mubadala City DC Open, Venus Williams admitted, "I think tennis fashion is going great, right? Serena and I came out, and we were doing these things, and it's just kept on going, which is great. And tennis is a great sport too. There are a lot of sports where you got to wear the uniform, but here you don't. So, people are taking that latitude to express themselves, and who they are. Like Coco did a great thing with Mio Mio, and you see the people doing the things, and it's very cute. I love it." The crowd roared at the Arthur Ashe Stadium as the last point was played. Coco Gauff, drenched in sweat but glowing in triumph, raised her arms, her face shining with relief, fire, and a deep sense of honor. Another win. Another step forward. But this night wasn't just about tennis. It was about something bigger: legacy. In a private suite above the court, Venus Williams watched with quiet admiration. At her side was her sister Serena, who, though officially retired, still had that glint in her eye, the one that had once silenced stadiums and shaken champions. Tonight, neither sister was the headline act, and that was exactly how they wanted it. "She's something else, huh?" Serena said with a grin, her voice carrying a rare softness. Venus nodded, eyes never leaving the young star on court. "She's the echo of what we began," she murmured, more to herself than anyone else. A new flame lit from an old torch. Backstage, Coco sat with her team, her emotions oscillating between elation and exhaustion. It had been a tough match, a true test of her patience and poise. But as reporters gathered and flashbulbs began to spark, her mind wandered, not to rankings or statistics, but to a moment when she was 15, standing across the net from Venus Williams at Wimbledon. That match had changed everything. "I just want to say, thank you, Venus," she had told her during the handshake, her voice trembling. "I wouldn't be here without you." Venus had smiled then, a quiet, regal smile that Coco remembered to this day. Now, almost 6 years later, the praise had come full circle. But instead of a handshake at net, it came in the form of rare, deeply personal words from the very pioneer who'd helped redefine the sport for black women around the world. Venus speaks. She's living proof. In an exclusive sit-down with a renowned sports magazine, Venus Williams surprised many with what would become one of her most emotional and candid interviews in years. "People ask me all the time if I feel like Serena and I accomplished what we set out to do," she said, her long fingers clasped around a teacup. "And I tell them, we didn't do it alone. We lit the torch. But girls like Coco, they're the ones carrying it through a new world." Venus leaned back, her eyes distant with memory. "When we started, we were anomalies. Two black girls from Compton breaking into an elite sport where we didn't really belong. But we belonged to ourselves. And now, Coco, she doesn't have to fight to belong. She just is. And that is the victory I cherish most." Gauff's journey, between inspiration and independence. To the casual viewer, Coco Gauff's rise might seem meteoric. From her teenage breakout to winning a Grand Slam and becoming a staple of the sport's new golden age, She's carved her name into headlines with charisma and grit. But beneath the glittering surface lies a journey deeply intertwined with the paths Venus and Serena forged before her. Gauff has always been quick to pay homage. "They're the blueprint," she once said. "I grew up watching Venus's graceful dominance and Serena's fiery will. It taught me I could be both elegant and powerful." But Coco is no mere copy. Her game is laced with athleticism, yes, but also a fresh creativity. A drop shot here, a sudden charge there, a backhand that bends physics. Her voice, too, is her own. Whether it's advocating for social justice or standing tall in press conferences, Coco speaks with the assurance of someone raised not just to play tennis, but to shape culture. A private letter, the Williams gift. After her latest tournament win, Coco received a package at her hotel. It was simple, wrapped in navy blue ribbon. Inside, nestled among white lilies, was a handwritten letter. It read, "Dear Coco, there was a time when the world doubted that girls who looked like us could stand tall in places of legacy. You don't just stand tall. You dance, you lead, you fly. You have honored what we began by becoming entirely yourself. I'm proud of you, not just for the wins, but for your wisdom, your kindness, your fearlessness. With admiration, Venus." Coco wept reading it, not because she craved validation, but because it was from someone who understood, someone who had once stood alone in a world that didn't make space, and carved room with her own hands. The past meets the present. Weeks later, the two would meet in person again, this time at a benefit gala, celebrating diversity in sports. The red carpet was abuzz with cameras, interviews, and star-studded arrivals, but when Venus entered and Coco followed moments later, the air shifted. A hush, a ripple, and then applause. They embraced under the soft lights of the ballroom, a generational passing of power witnessed by the world. "She reminds me of a younger me," Venus said during her speech, but with the confidence of someone who's never been told no. That's evolution. That's change. That's the dream. Gauff, in her own address, responded with grace. Venus and Serena didn't just win matches. They opened doors. And now that the doors are open, it's our job, my generation's job, to build more. Beyond the court, mentorship in motion. What few knew was that behind the scenes, Venus had begun mentoring Coco in quiet but profound ways. The mentorship wasn't about footwork or serves. It was about life, about endurance, about protecting joy in a world obsessed with perfection. In one private conversation, Venus told her, "Be fierce, but don't lose your softness. That's your superpower. Serena and I had to build armor. You get to build wings." Coco later called those words a North Star. A legacy in bloom. Today, Coco Gauff is more than just a tennis star. She's a symbol of what happens when dreams are passed down with care, with courage, and with community. Venus and Serena once played in a world that questioned their place. Coco plays in a world that celebrates hers, because the Williams sisters made sure of it. And as she walks into each arena, she carries not just a racket and ambition, but a living legacy. A legacy that is no longer rare, but radiant, rising, and real. Epilogue. The circle continues. At a youth tennis clinic in Atlanta, Coco knelt beside a little girl in braids, maybe 8 years old, eyes wide with wonder. "Do you think I could be like you someday?" the girl asked. Coco smiled, tying the girl's shoelace. "No," she said gently. "You're going to be better." And somewhere far away, Venus Williams smiled.